So let's just start going through some of the things on the syllabus here. So first of all, up at the top you can see my name and my email address, and my office and my office hours. Email is going to be the preferred way for you to contact me this semester. I don't have official office hours that you could call me. So if you'll email me, I'll get back to you within 48 hours. You can see that I do have an office. I just don't have office hours at CWI, but I'll meet with you by appointment. I can meet just about any time and work around your schedule. So if there's something you'd like to get together and talk about, or you want me to look at something face-to-face or discuss one of your stories or something from the class, just email me and we'll set up a time that we can meet there at my Ada campus office, and we'll go over whatever you'd like to go over. Okay, so you can see here this is the name of the class, course description. That's just the description from the course catalog. Here's some general information about the course. It's fully online. It's a regular 15-week course. It begins on January the 18th. It ends on May 6th. This is important here. This course requires frequent participation, sometimes 5 out of 7 days. That's something that you really need to understand for this class, and I'm going to be hitting on that again and again as we go through this syllabus. You really do need to know that this is not the kind of class that you can just leave everything till Sunday night and do it all then. The class has both small weekly assignments and then a couple of big major projects. We'll talk about that more later. The weekly content and assignments, except for this first week when we have kind of a shortened week, will become available every Saturday morning at midnight. So when you wake up Saturday morning, it should be there, and they'll be due 8 days later on Sunday at midnight. And then the major projects, they're kind of their own animal. You'll each have your own due date for that. We'll talk about that down below. Okay, well, a little bit about the course focus and structure. I encourage you to read this section on your own. Just talks about the sort of thinking behind the class, the philosophy behind the class. The main thing is that a workshop has a very, when you take it as a face-to-face class, it has a very set, repetitive structure. It's always the same, and that's going to help us in an online class. That we're gonna kind of fall into that same repetitive structure where every week we're kind of doing the same things just with different material. I describe what exactly I mean by that right here, so I encourage you to read that. But the most important thing you can take from that too, like I just said, is that in a workshop, in a face-to-face workshop, so much of what we do as a class is generated by the students. You know, we're depending on stories to come in. We're depending on presentations to be done. We're depending on people to participate in workshops. And so when you don't do the assignments, when you miss a deadline, or when you don't do the things that the class requires you to do, it can really derail the course. And so that's why I ask, right now at the start of the semester, while you can still drop the class without any penalty, read the syllabus carefully, know what's going to be required, and really make sure that you can commit to it and meet your deadlines before you sign on, because this isn't just like a regular class where you can drop it and the only person that gets hurt is yourself. With a class like this, it really messes up the schedule, especially if people don't turn in their stories or don't do their presentations. Alright, here's our course objectives. You can read through those. It's basically just that you want by the end of this class, you want just a general exposure to literary fiction and a basic idea of how to write a story, understanding how to use plot, point of view, characterization, setting, time, theme, voice, and language, producing a story where something happens, where there's actually conflict and crisis and resolution, and improving your ability to analyze a story, to think about what are the parts of a story, how does a story work, and we'll get in a little bit here into publishing as well. We'll talk about, once you've written your story, what can you do with it. And of course, with any workshop, you want to experience reading and evaluating peer writing. That's really what this workshop is all about, is writing your own stuff and evaluating other people's stuff. So that's what we're here to try to do. Okay, the outcomes assessment. What we have here, I'm not going to go through this whole thing with you right now, but I've listed every assignment that we're going to have this semester in the class. And so if you read through this outcomes assessment section in the syllabus, you'll know exactly what's going to be required of you and what percentage each thing is worth between now and the end of the semester. In addition to this, as the semester progresses, I will be assigning I will be providing assignment sheets for each of these things. So there's a little bit of a write-up of what exactly this is here, and then you'll get an assignment sheet that talks in extensive detail about what it is. My assignment sheets go into a ton of detail. I really encourage you to read them carefully, because I explain, everything that you need to know to complete the assignment effectively. But that's what this section is here. We just talk about what each thing is that you're going to need to do in this class between now and the end of the semester. And then here, I think this is kind of handy for you. This is just a little summary of tasks. And so basically, in this class, there's things that you'll do once in the semester, and there's things that you'll do every week. And if you just kind of start thinking of the class in that way, I think it'll help you organize your time and kind of know what's going to be expected. That every single week, you're basically going to go through this same little sequence of things, and one time in the semester you're going to do each of these things, and that's probably a really easy way to think of what is this class going to be, and do I have time to do it. Okay, the class schedule. Now we don't have a class schedule yet, because our class schedule is going to depend on when you guys sign up to write your stories. There's some of you that write all the time and probably have something ready to go right now. There's some of you that haven't written a thing and are going to have to produce a story, from whole cloth here in the next few weeks. So you can start signing up this week on our Blackboard page for when you want to do your story. It's first come, first served for the due dates. And once everybody's signed up, then I'll put the schedule together so you'll all know when you're going to be writing your stories. You're also going to be doing a presentation about a certain aspect of writing. And when you sign up for your story, you'll sign up for that as well. And I'll have another video and another assignment sheet that will go into a little bit more detail about how to do that. Here's the grading policy. Here's the textbook. Only one textbook, just a really good short story collection. Very simple. That's all we've got for this class. Everything else that we do is going to be generated online by you guys and by me on our Blackboard page. Methods of delivery. This just talks about how you get all your material in our class, how you get the things that you need to do, and where you learn about them, and how you know what to do next. The most important thing that I can say about this section, I like everything else in the syllabus, so I hope you'll read it. The most important thing I can say is that you want to just understand the way the assignments tab works in Blackboard, and I talk about that too in our introduction to the Blackboard shell video. If you just know that one simple thing, you'll pretty much always know what to do in the class. Okay, and then what we have here is just a series of expectations for you in terms of the course and how the course is going to be run. I'll just hit on a couple of highlights here. If those of you who have taken an online class before know that online classes, as a general rule, do not accept late work of any kind. However, in this class, that is magnified tenfold, because, as I said, we rely, it's not just that we want you to turn in the assignments for your own good and so you can finish the assignments and get a good grade and get on with your life. It's that we all rely on you turning in those assignments. If you are supposed to turn in your assignment in week 5 and you don't, then a huge chunk of what we were going to do in week 6 is gone. So nothing is going to be accepted late in this class. There is no late work. You have deadlines and you've got to meet those deadlines.